Listen, Justin Baldoni said his attorney said a couple of days ago. He said, "Y'all just wait. There is a bombshell coming, and we are going to defend ourselves against the lawsuit filed by Blake Lively against Justin Baldoni." And what do we see? Child, Justin Baldoni done filed a lawsuit against the New York Times, honey. Is Justin Baldoni against mainstream media? Y'all, y'all. Let's get into it. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. This is Pamela, and you are watching Pam Entertainment TV, where we review movies, television series, and incidents in pop culture to see how those incidents may or may not affect our daily lives. Listen, let's get into this. Let's get into this, y'all. Before we do, y'all make sure y'all hit that like button. And if you do like what you see, subscribe. And once you subscribe, you'll be open to uh, a plethora of movies and television series that I have reviewed, plus my pop culture chats, plus my celebrity legal news. Y'all, let's get into it. According to Variety, written by Tatiana Siegel, Justin Baldoni files a $250 million lawsuit against New York Times over the Blake Lively story. It relied on her, quote, self-serving narrative. Now, if we are not familiar, we'll get to this first. Uh, if we're not familiar, you remember that Blake Lively sued Justin Baldoni and his company. And so this is written in the Elle magazine by Rebecca Mitchell. And it says every explosive detail from Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni's lawsuits. Okay. So this is Blake Lively. So they have bullet points, and this is the reason why I wanted to use this particular article, because of the fact that it had bullet points that we can go over and we can look at. Okay, give me one moment. I want to make them a little bit bigger, y'all. Yes. All right. So Blake Lively is suing the Wayfarer Studios, the production company owned by Justin Baldoni. Justin Baldoni, the actor, director, and the producer. Jamie Heath, the CEO of Wayfarer Studios and lead producer on It Ends With Us. Steve Starwitz, who co-owns Wayfarer Studios with Baldoni. Melissa Nathan, the publicist and the crisis PR expert. The agency group. And this is Melissa Nathan's agency, the PR agency. Jennifer Abel, Baldoni's publicist, RWA Communications, Jennifer Abel's agency, Jed Wallace, the publicist, Street Relations Incorporated, Jed Wallace's agency, and 1 through 100 Jane or John Doe's. And so all of these people have denied the allegations with Baldoni, and Wayfarer's legal reps calling them category false. So what is the summary of the allegations? Again, I do have a video outlining this, but let's do this for the sake of a recap, a refresh about what's going on. The summary of the allegation is, as per the legal complaint, Lively is seeking damages for harassment, sexual harassment, retaliation, failure to investigate, prevent or remedy harassment, aiding and abetting the harassment and retaliation, breach of contract, intentional infliction of emotional distress, negligence, false light invasion of privacy, and interference with prospective economic advantage. Now, they talk about the wildest claims from the Blake Lively legal complaint. And it says the 81-page legal filing contains explosive allegations and includes documents and texts as alleged evidenced by Lively's claims. I do have that lawsuit in another video. I will go over it because, again, it is 80 something pages and it is long. So the allegations from the set of It Ends With Us, the lawsuit starts by detailing a meeting held between Lively, Baldoni, and others who worked on It Ends With Us. The all hands meeting was held to address complaints reportedly made by Lively. Per her contract, she brought a representative, her husband, Ryan Reynolds. The meeting reportedly discussed 30 issues raised by Lively and her team, including being shown images of naked women, specifically a video of Jamie Heath's wife giving birth, a non consensual discussion of her weight, and Mr. Baldoni's allegedly speaking to Lively's dead father. Among the complaints were some that led Lively requesting that an intimacy coordinator be present on set during scenes between her and Baldoni, no more approved kissing, and that Mr. Baldoni and Mr. Heath not touch Lively, her employees, or other female crew members without their consent. So these are I'm gonna sit these on the screen real quick to let y'all read these little allegations 1 through 6. Uh No more nude videos or images of women, including producer's wife to Blake Lively and her employees. No more mention of Mr. Bally's previous pornography addiction or Blake Lively's lack of pornography consumption. No more mention of Blake Lively or her employees of personal times that physical consent was not given in sexual acts as either the abuser or the abused. And they go over 1 through 6. I'm gonna let you all read 1 through 6. Give you maybe a couple of seconds to read that, because now we're going to get in definitely into the lawsuit of Justin Baldoni suing the New York Times. So y'all read that real quick as I cue up the next slide. And again, y'all hit that like button. I do appreciate y'all being here. All right. Let's get into this. Again, this is written by Tatiana Siegel. And so let's see what Justin Baldoni is what his lawsuit entails. Says here on June 2nd, 2023, Blake Lively began a text exchange with her It Ends With Us director and co-star Justin Baldoni that blamed her assistant for not getting her an updated batch of scripts. She did not realize they were new, Lively wrote. New pages can always be sent to me as well, please. The actress signed the missive with an X, universal symbol for a kiss. Lively followed up with another text shortly thereafter. I'm just pumping in my trailer if you want to work out our lines. Baldoni responded, copy, eating with crew, and we'll head that way. 18 months later, that interaction was depicted in a New York Times bombshell report in a far more sinister light. The Times wrote, Baldoni repeatedly entered her makeup trailer uninvited while she was undressed, including when she was breastfeeding. That discrepancy is one of the many highlighted in a scathing $250 million lawsuit filed Tuesday afternoon by Baldoni against the Times in Los Angeles Superior Court. Baldoni is among a group of 10 plaintiffs that also include his publicist, Jennifer Nathan, and Jennifer Abel, who are suing the newspaper for libel and false light invasion of privacy over the December 21st article titled, We Can Bury Anyone Inside a Hollywood Smear Machine. The parties, which include It Ends With Us producer James Heath and Steve Sorowitz, claim that the Times relied on cherry-picked and altered communication stripped of necessary context and deliberately spliced to mislead. A New York Times spokesperson responded, quote, the role of an independent news organization is to follow the facts where they lead. Our story was meticulously and responsibly reported. It was based on a review of thousands of pages of original documents, including the text messages and emails that we quote accurately and at length in the article. Today, Wayfarer Studios, Mr. Baldoni, and other subjects of the article and their representative have not pointed to a single error. We published their full statements in response to the allegations in the article as well. We plan to vigorously defend against the lawsuit. So when I get my hand on it, I'm gonna read it, and if we need to, I will do a video reading this complaint. So the 87-page complaint, which also accuses the Times of prom, promis, promissory promissory fraud and breach of implied in fact contract, offers a rebuttal of the narrative set forth in a 4,000-word article that has rocked Hollywood and led to WME dropping Baldoni as a client hours after the publication. Mm, mm, mm. Written by Megan Twohey, Mike McIntyre, and Julie Tate. The piece painted Lively as an actress who allegedly endured months of sexual harassment from Baldoni and Heath, and supposedly faced retaliation in the form of a smear campaign because she voiced her concerns. But according to the lawsuit, it was Lively who embarked on a strategic and manipulative smear campaign of her own and used false sexual harassment allegations to assert unilateral control over every aspect of the production. And according to the suit, Lively's husband, actor Ryan Reynolds, and you remember Ryan Reynolds is in the MCU, he played Deadpool, allegedly berated Baldoni in an aggressive manner during a heated meeting in their Tribeca penthouse in New York, accusing him of fat shaming his wife. The suit claims that the A-list actor also pressured Baldoni's agency. This is supposedly Ryan Reynolds, WME, to drop the director during the Deadpool and Wolverine premiere in July, well before Baldoni enlisted crisis PR. Oh, 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 oh. That's interesting. That's interesting. That's interesting. Now, we do have, according to this article, hold on, let me get me a sip. This to me is setting up to be, uh, it, this is Justin Baldoni's 1v20. It's setting up. He's so you know, now according to what his lawyer said a couple of days ago, that there were lawsuits pending. So I don't know if there's a countersuit against Blake Lively on the way, but we do know that this particular article is talking about that Justin Baldoni is suing the New York Times in regards to this article. So this sounds like there's been some, it sounds like, I don't have no proof, but from what Blake Lively is saying and what Justin Baldoni is saying, that there was a lot of behind the scenes back and forth, back and forth. And you remember in Blake Lively's lawsuit, she mentioned that Justin Baldoni hired a crisis PR to smear her campaign. Now, according to what this article is saying, according to WM, is saying that Ryan Reynolds apparently pressured um, WME to drop the director in July. And WME reps deny that there was any pressure. Let me share my screen. I didn't realize I wasn't sharing. Denies that there was any pressure from Reynolds or Lively to drop Baldoni as a client. Attorney Brian Friedman, who filed the lawsuit on behalf of the plaintiffs, tell Variety that the Times, quote, cowered to the wants and whims of two powerful, untouchable Hollywood elites, disregarding journalistic practices and ethics once befitting of the revered publication, by using doctored and manipulated text and intentionally omitting text which disputes their chosen PR narrative. And remember, the thing that I have learned about PR, and everyone talks about it, is who controls the narrative, who can get out into the mainstream media and control the narrative, regardless of the facts. Regardless of the facts, whoever controls the narrative controls the history. Whoever controls the narrative controls the history. So let's continue. The Times reporting that Nathan and Abel planted negative stories about Lively with the press was bolstered by one particular text exchange in which the two appeared to take a victory lap following a Daily Mail story about Lively that slammed her for, quote, being tone deaf on promotion of the film about domestic violence and resurfaced embarrassing interviews from her past. You really outdid yourself with this piece, quote, Abel wrote, prompting Nathan to reply, "That's why you hired me, right? I'm the best." But in its full context, it appears as though Nathan and Abel are jokingly taking credit for a story that emerged organically. The Times story omits a Nathan text that preceded the exchange in which she says she was uninvolved in the story's publication. Quote, "Damn, this is unfair because it's also not me," she wrote. The Times also clipped Abel's use of the upside down smiley face emoji, which is typically used to convey sarcasm. So the Times story relied mostly, almost entirely, on Lively's unverified and self serving narrative, lifting it nearly verbatim while disregarding an abundance of evidence that contradicted her claims and exposed her true motives, the suit says. Y'all. I'm not gonna go into any more information with this, but I just want to be able to highlight for you that, baby, he is suing the New York Times. That is a Variety article if you want to read it in full. But what are y'all thinking about this? It's about it. It's a back and forth. It's a back and forth that I didn't know was going to happen. Now, in it out here in the community, they're saying that this case is gearing up to be as big in the courts like Amber Heard and Johnny Depp. I don't know. But we will continue to follow this case because this is something serious. So tell me what y'all think. Justin Baldoni against the New York Times. Do you think that this is going to be a story that will catch hold? What do you think? You think it's going to be dismissed? Do you think this story has legs? Once I get a hold of that lawsuit, I'll definitely go over it with you all. Right now, I have to go over with you all Blake Lively's lawsuit, and so now it is more imperative for me to read it and read it to you all so we can get some clarity. I don't. It's 80 pages, and I don't know if we're going to sit 2.5 hours, 3 hours reading this, but who knows? Depending on all the juicy details, baby, we will definitely figure that out. Again, if you want a bullet point playlist of, y'all go to the Elle magazine website. This story was written by Rebecca Mitchell. They go over bullet point by bullet point the Blake Lively lawsuit. If you want to read that there, and again, I do encourage you to come back, and we will definitely go over it. But again, this is a mess. This is getting interesting. People are going back and forth and back and forth, and I'm here for it. All right, people, we do this every week. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Please share this video if you care. Y'all, please tell a friend, tell a kin, tell a coworker, tell that heifer that you can't stand that I'm over here making these videos. And as always, people, bye-bye. Ciao. Blake suing Baldoni. Baldoni suing the New York Times. Who else is going to be on this suing block? 2025 is coming in with a bang with the celebrity news. Legal issues, that is. Bye bye.